Haunted History, Bodmin Jail. Reportedly one of the most paranormally active jails in all of England. The jail was completed in 1779 and was an active prison until 1927, during which it saw at least 55 executions. Paranormal activity reported includes disembodied voices, shadow figures, physical contact, and a feeling of constantly being watched. Some of the ghosts believed to haunt the jail are a priest that haunts the chapel area, perhaps still praying for those who once dwelled in the jail. Selina Wadge, known as Sobbing Selina, who was hanged in 1887 for the murder of her son. She is known for appearing to pregnant women and small children, who become very emotional after interacting with her. Matthew Weeks, who pleads to all who see him that he is innocent of the crime of murdering his lover. Haunted History, the Borley Rectory. Once called the most haunted house in England by paranormal investigator Harry Price, it was built in 1862 to house the rector and his family in the parish of Borley. Paranormal activity included disembodied voices and footsteps, unexplained cold spots, and spiritual knocking and responses to questions. The most active spirit was that of an unidentified nun. Local legends say she fell in love with a monk, and when they attempted to elope, they were caught and sentenced to death, and her spirit now wanders, searching for her lover. There were also reports of a ghostly horse-driven carriage that is driven by a headless horseman. While Harry Price conducted many investigations over the years and maintained that the rectory was haunted, his work would be dismissed by fellow members. Society for Psychical Research. After his death, the rectory was destroyed by a fire in 1939 and demolished in 1944. Haunted History, Pontefract Castle. Built around 1090, the fortress stood strong during various battles throughout history until the English Civil War. Richard II was kept prisoner by King Henry IV in the castle until Richard's death in 1400. It was a stronghold for royalist forces until they were defeated by the parliamentarians, who then proceeded to demolish most of the castle. After their victory, paranormal activity at the castle reportedly includes disembodied voices, usually sounding like a young girl, and unexplained ghostly figures in photographs. Several ghosts are believed to haunt the ruins. A monk dressed in black is believed to walk from the remains of the old kitchen to the Queen's Tower, usually occurring around 5 a.m. Another monk dressed in gray has also been seen wandering the grounds carrying a lantern. The spirit of a young girl is reportedly seen in a mirror located in the visitor center on several occasions. Those who turn around to see if she is behind them find nothing. Haunted History, Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem. Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem was reportedly established in 1189 AD. However, there is no documented proof to this claim. Being supposedly comes from a tale that Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem would be the last stop for recruits before they went to fight in the Crusades. Being is home to an alleged cursed object known as the galleon. The legend surrounding the item is that it was given as payment for an outstanding tab or was given as a gift by a passing sailor. The galleon is allegedly responsible for the deaths of at least 3 people, all of whom had cleaned it. Coincidence or curse? The item is now encased in a glass cabinet so that no one else will try to tempt fate. The old cellars of the inn are also said to be rife with paranormal activity. The cellars are linked to the castle and would have been used to house prisoners when the jail was overflowing. Disembodied voices, screams, and footsteps have reportedly been heard in these areas. Could the prisoners who died down there be causing paranormal activity? Or is it simply just our own echoes that are reverberating off the natural rock caves? Haunted history. Paris Catacombs. The Paris Catacombs are underground ossuaries that reportedly hold the remains of over 6 million people. The catacombs' history dates to the 18th century, when Paris cemeteries were overflowing. The decision was made that Charles Axel Guillaumet, who was King Louis XVI architect, would be given the monumental task to move the older remains of those interred in these cemeteries and to relocate them to a mine in Rue de la Tourmissoire, a task which would take 12 years to complete. The walls of the mine would become lined with the bones of the dead. The tunnels are believed to extend over 200 miles. One of the ghosts that is said to haunt the caves is Philibert Apser. Philibert was a doorman for the Val d'Igers hospital. It is believed that while he was fetching wine from the cellar, he got lost and wound up in the catacombs. Unfortunately for him, he only had a small candlelight, and once it blew out, he became lost and died. His remains went undiscovered for 11 years. Haunted history. The Skirrid Mountain Inn. The Skirrid Inn is reportedly one of the oldest inns in Wales. There is an old oak beam atop of the stairs with a rope. The reason for this is that the inn was reportedly used as a court of law where capital punishment would be met out. While the rope may not be original, the beam serves as a reminder of its past and is perhaps the reason for the entire residual hauntings taking place at the inn. Some of the paranormal activity reported at the inn includes disembodied voices and screams and poltergeist activity, such as moving objects and sudden temperature drops. The ghosts that are said to haunt the inn are Fanny Price, a former barmaid who died of consumption. A smell of lavender is said to be a sign of her presence. Father Henry Vaughan, believed to once be the local clergyman, is said to roam the inn, blessing the inn and the souls of those who lost their lives, though history shows no record of him staying at the inn. Psychics have often claimed that the infamous Judge George Jeffreys, known for his part in the Bloody Assizes, is linked in some way to the building. Haunted history. Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle is a royal residence that was built in the late 11th century, located in Berkshire, England. Unsurprisingly, many of its former royal residents are said to haunt the castle. These include Queen Elizabeth I, who has been seen multiple times in the castle's library. The sound of disembodied footsteps in that area are believed to be caused by her. Henry VIII has been witnessed multiple times, vanishing into a wall on the battlements, while others claim to hear his disembodied voice moaning in the corridors and a figure dragging their leg. King George III is also believed to haunt the castle after being confined there during the last years of his madness. Queen Victoria is believed to be angered by alterations made to the castle, particularly the removal of the family's tree. While work was being carried out, workers often heard a disapproving old female's voice. Haunted history. The Enfield Poltergeist. One of the most famous cases of paranormal activity in English history, it has fascinated both skeptics and believers alike. Since it was first reported in the late 1970s, the haunting revolved around the Hodgson family, particularly two of the daughters, Jana and Margaret. Paranormal activity plaguing the family included disembodied noises and poltergeist activity that ranged from throwing objects, tapping sounds, levitation, and partial possession. The haunting garnered national attention and would eventually be investigated by two members of the Society for Psychical Research. While they believed the haunting to be genuine, the girls were also caught faking activity. The haunting would last from 1977 to 1979 and would inspire many shows and films, including The Conjuring 2, despite the Warrens having very little to do with the original haunting. Haunted history. Leap Castle. Leap Castle is a castle in Couldery, Ireland, and is reportedly the most haunted castle in the world. The castle was once the seat of the O'Carroll clan. In 1532, a bitter dispute was said to be taking place within the clan, which led one brother to plunge a dagger into another brother's heart, a priest, while he was giving mass in the chapel. This act would forever taint the chapel, and it would come to be known as the Bloody Chapel. It is said that the ghost of the O'Carroll priest still wanders the chapel. In 1922, workmen discovered a hidden dungeon behind one of the chapel walls. While searching the dungeon, the workmen discovered pits filled with wooden spikes and remains of the poor souls who had been impaled upon them. The castle is allegedly home to children ghosts as well. According to several psychics, they are two sisters called Emily and Charlotte. The castle is reportedly haunted by a powerful entity known as the elemental. An elemental is a term used to describe an entity that was neither human nor demonic, and is often associated with the practice of witchcraft. Haunted history. Winchester Mystery House. Winchester Mystery House is perhaps one of the most famous haunted houses in America. The house originally belonged to Sarah Winchester, who married William Winchester, son of the American rifle inventor Oliver Winchester. Upon the passing of her husband, she tried to contact him through seances, but was unsuccessful until she met a medium called Adam Coons. Coons claimed to have contacted her husband, who said that she was under a curse and that all the spirits killed by a Winchester rifle caused his death and that of their child, and to break the curse she must appease the spirits. Believing that Coon was speaking to her husband, she sold her house and moved west to Santa Clara Valley to begin what would be the Winchester Mystery House. The building itself is believed to be designed to confuse and contain the spirits that allegedly haunt the property, with stairways and doorways that lead to nowhere. Visitors to the house have reported paranormal phenomena, including disembodied footsteps, cold spots, and strange smells.